Hi class! Today we're going to go over the 4 different types of sentences. You watched a little song and did a quizzes as like our kind of intro into the different types of sentences that there are. But today we're going to go a little bit more in depth and talk about those 4 types of sentences. So, our first type of sentence is a declarative sentence. Okay? So our first type is a declarative. Declarative. And a declarative sentence just declares something. Maybe it's stating a fact or an opinion, okay? And all declarative sentences are going to end with a period, okay? So, an example of a declarative sentence might be, I want to be a good writer. So I'm going to write EX. That stands for example. I want to be a good writer. Period. Now this is stating a fact. I want to be a good writer. That's what I want. Okay? Some other examples of declarative sentences are Miss Jones wants me to be on time, or Kim is going to turn 8 in August. Okay? These are all just stating facts or opinions or, wants and desires. It's not a question, it's not a command, okay? It's just stating something, and it's always going to end with a period. Our second type of sentence is called an interrogative sentence. Interrogative. Actually, we're going to do that one third. Our second type of sentence is going to be imperative. Imperative. And an imperative sentence is a command. You're telling someone to do something. And it's also going to end with a period. But an imperative sentence, you are telling someone to do something. You might say, please sit down. I didn't ask you to sit down. I didn't say, will you please sit down? I said, please sit down. It was a kind command, but it was still, sit down, please. Maybe turn the music down or turn the music up. Clean your room. Please wash the dishes. Finish your homework. Okay, these are all commands. It's telling you to do something. So we're going to write an example sentence. And please walk the dog. And since it's a command, I'm going to put a period at the end. It's not a question, it's a command. It's imperative. Our third type of sentence is interrogative. Okay, interrogative. And when you hear the word interrogative, you might think of the word like interrogator. Like, so say you're an investigator of a crime scene and you have a suspect, and you're going to bring that suspect into your interrogation room, and you're going to ask them a lot of interrogative questions. Where were you on the night of August 2nd, 2020? What were you doing with this in your possession? Why are your footprints found at this location? Okay, they're going to ask a lot of hard-hitting questions. So an interrogative sentence is a question. 3 sure I spelled that correctly. Interrogative, yes. An interrogative asks a question. And often questions begin with who, what, when, where, why, or how. Who are you? What are you doing? Who, what, when is your bedtime? Who, what, when, where? Where are you going? Why? Why are you wearing that silly hat? And how many potatoes did you eat? These are all really interesting questions that just popped into my head. The potatoes one is cracking me up a little bit. So those are, not all questions begin with those words, but most of them do. Who, what, when, why, and how. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Example. We'll make our example sentence. Do you know what the weather will be tomorrow? See, this one begins with the word do. Do you know what the weather will be tomorrow? And I'm going to finish the sentence with a question mark because I'm asking a question. Do you know? And when we read a question, we need our voice to kind of go up at the end. Do you know what the weather will be tomorrow? Okay, that's how we ask questions. Do you know? Our voice kind of goes up at the end. So when you read them, you need your voice to go up at the end with that question mark. Okay? Now, I want you to also take note of this word, know. I spelled it K-N-O-W. There's another way to spell the word know, and it's N-O. This kind of no means no, I don't want that. This kind of no is, do you know in your head? Is it something that you know? Is it information in your mind? Okay, so do you know what the weather will be tomorrow? We're not asking, do you know what the weather will be tomorrow? That wouldn't make any sense. Okay, so these are homophones. It means that they are two words that sound the same, but they're spelled different and have different meanings. You can remember that by homophone. Phone you talk in, so think of sounds. Homophone. Number 4, our last type of sentence is exclamatory. An exclamatory sentence exclaims something. It's exciting, and it ends in an exclamation mark. Exclamatory. Okay? Exclamatory sentences express great emotion or excitement or anger. Okay? So exclamatory sentences are just sentences with a lot of emotion in them. Okay? So you might say, I got an A on my book report. You'd be so excited. Or like Miss Rice, earlier last week, I said, I passed my art cert exam, so now I can be an art teacher in the future. I was super excited about that, so that's some news that I'm sharing with you guys. I passed my art cert exam, so that's going to be my example sentence. Example. I passed my art exam. And I will tell you, if you saw all the sentences that I was saying when I found out that I passed my art cert exam, if you could see them, like how one of our characters, what was her name? But she like kind of envisioned, those words above her head in a bubble. If you could see all the sentences I was saying, they would all end in an exclamation mark because I was so excited. Oh my goodness. They made me wait several days before they told me if I passed or not. So it was almost a whole entire week, and I was on the edge of my seat wanting to know. Okay, quick review. Declarative. I'm declaring something. It's just a statement, okay? Ends in a period. Imperative. It's imperative that you do this right now. I'm going to command you to do it. It's important, okay? Ends in a period. It's a command. Interrogative. Think of an interrogator of a crime scene, in his interrogation room with his suspect. He's going to ask a lot of hard-hitting questions. Interrogative asks questions. An exclamatory. It's exciting. It's exclaiming. It ends in an exclamation mark. Okay? So you're going to practice identifying these 4 types of sentences and editing sentences to have the correct punctuation.